Welcome to XIO Voice. Continuing from the previous episode 208. Xiao Yan's eyes merely paused on the copper plate for a moment before they shifted away. Immediately, his eyes swept another round over the jade platform. Along the way, he even acted as though he was interested in some other medicinal ingredients. This continued for a while before he randomly picked up the copper plate on the jade platform in a gentle manner. A faint coolness spread the moment the copper plate entered his hand. Of course, this was not because the copper plate was special. Instead, it was due to it had been stuck within cold air for a long period of time. Xiao Yan flipped this copper plate with some interest. His finger gently rubbed it. The rough feeling caused it to appear just like an ordinary copper plate. If not for the somewhat complicated drawings on it, it was likely that no one would truly treat it as a treasure. Xiao Yan was unable to understand the complicated drawings on it. Moreover, due to the presence of some copper rust, the drawings had become a little distorted. It was difficult to clearly see what it was. This is actually an item from the ancient times? Xiao Yan's heart felt some disbelief as he flipped this copper plate. No matter how he tried to probe it, he was unable to discover the slightest uniqueness. If Tianhuo Zunjie had not secretly transmitted words into his ears earlier, it was likely going to be very difficult for him to connect this thing in ancient times. Although Xiao Yan felt some disbelief in his heart, his face appeared extremely calm. He looked as though he merely felt curious about this copper plate. That sloppy old man merely rolled his eyes in the face of Xiao Yan's manner. However, he did not say anything. Xiao Yan was not the only one who was interested in this copper plate. There were quite a number of treasure seekers who had studied it in the past. However, no one ended up exchanging anything for it. Stop dawdling. This copper plate's value is more expensive than the snow-bone ginseng. Moreover, there is no bargaining. The sloppy old man dug in one of his ears and spoke in a causal manner. Xiao Yan's finger paused while it rubbed the copper plate. He smiled and asked, "Is there anything unique about this copper plate? It is even more valuable than the snow-bone ginseng?" "I don't know." The sloppy old man curled his mouth and gave an answer that stunned Xiao Yan. Xiao Yan bitterly smiled. This old fellow was really strange. He was able to give such an answer in a righteous manner. At this moment, the surrounding observers involuntarily laughed because of the sloppy, old man's reply. Clearly, they had seldom seen a stall owner of such quality. Although I am unaware of what the uses of this copper plate, I can tell that this is an item from ancient times. The sloppy, old man swept his eyes over those who had laughed before snickering. The surrounding laughter immediately halted when these words sounded. Numerous surprised eyes locked onto the copper plate in Xiao Yan's hands. Everyone knew that any item related to the words, ancient times, was definitely not ordinary. However, they still found it difficult to believe that this ordinary copper plate was related to the ancient times. Compared to the surprise of these people, Xiao Yan's hand involuntarily tightened when he heard the words being uttered by this sloppy, old man. It was unexpected that this old man had such sharp eyes. If Tianhuo Zunjie had not informed him, Xiao Yan would not have been concerned about this copper plate. From the looks of it, the eyesight of this sloppy, old man was quite great. "KK, may I know how old Mr. is certain that this thing is related to the ancient times?" Xiao Yan's heart tightened, but his face still contained a smile. He gently placed the copper plate down, turned his eyes to the sloppy old man and inquired with a smile. "The drawing on it is something I have seen in some ancient books. However, you can forget about asking me of its use. I have no idea. Would I take it out and sell it if I really knew what it is?" The sloppy, old man rolled his eyes and answered, "In any case, I believe this thing is related to ancient times. It is up to you if you wish to buy it." Everyone present exchanged looks with one another in the face of the sloppy, old man's answer. They helplessly shook their heads. How could they simply rely on this one-sided claim of his? No wonder no one had exchanged for it despite having sat here for such a long time. Xiao Yan felt a headache in the face of this old fellow. It appeared that nothing worked on him. After letting out a bitter laugh, Xiao Yan asked, "What does old Mr. wish to exchange this copper plate for?" "A Tier 7 high-grade medicinal formula." The sloppy, old man laughed. It was rare that there was someone interested in this thing. Xiao Yan bitterly laughed once again upon hearing what he wanted. He shook his head, regretfully glanced at the copper plate, and said, "It's too expensive." Even if it is really as Mr. has said and this copper plate is an item from ancient times, there are many things that have been left behind since ancient times. Among them are ordinary day-to-day items. Just this drawing alone is insufficient to assess its value. Forget it. I shall exchange for the snow bone ginseng. Xiao Yan sighed. He took a jade bottle out of his storage ring and gently placed it on the jade platform. He said, "Old mister, this is an elemental heart pill. A tier 7 middle grade. If you consume it when refining a pill, it will aid in stabilizing your mind. Hence, it will increase the chances of successfully refining a pill. You will not lose out if I use this to exchange for the snow bone ginseng, will you?" The elemental heart pill was considered quite a good assisting medicinal pill. It was really effective for an alchemist. Many alchemists would think of ways to get their hands on a medicinal pill with this kind of effect before beginning their refinements. After all, the things an alchemist were most afraid of during refinement was being interrupted by someone or being unable to focus their mind. With this kind of medicinal pill, they would be able to avoid such disturbances. Moreover, the elemental heart pill was considered the top choice among these assisting medicinal pills. Its actual value was much greater than this snow bone ginseng. Hence, Xiao Yan was not worried that this sloppy, old man would not accept it. As expected, a surprise surged up the face of the sloppy, old man when the words, "elemental heart pill," entered his ears. He swiftly grabbed the jade bottle and poured out the pale white medicinal pill in it. After which, he placed it under his nose and sniffed with all his might. It is indeed the elemental heart pill. The eyes of the sloppy old man immediately brightened after having carefully examined it. This elemental heart pill was a great help to alchemists. Many instances had taken place where he tried his best to prepare some assisting medicinal pills before refining a medicinal pill. However, the best medicinal pill he could refine with such an effect was tier 7 low grade. It was not that he did not have the ability to refine an even higher grade medicinal pill. Instead, it was because he did not have the medicinal formula to do so. It is not a bad thing. Lad, you are really generous. I have a good impression of you. The sloppy, old man smiled as he spoke. He stuffed the medicinal pill into his storage ring. After which, his eyes were a little fiery hot as he looked at Xiao Yan. Xiao Yan grinned. He took the jade box with the snow bone ginseng in it from the jade platform and placed it in his storage ring. After which, he turned around with the intent to leave, having not seen the fiery hot eyes of the old man. "Hey, wait!" the sloppy, old man hurriedly shouted. He could not endure any longer when he saw that Xiao Yan was about to leave. "Why?" Xiao Yan turned his head and looked at the sloppy, old man in a somewhat doubtful manner. Little fellow, don't you want this copper plate? I swear to you that it is definitely an item from the ancient times." The sloppy, old man pointed at the copper plate on the jade platform as he spoke with great enthusiasm. Xiao Yan glanced at the copper plate that was quietly lying on the jade platform and shook his head. He somewhat regretfully said, "I cannot afford to exchange for it. No one would be willing to take out a tier 7 high-grade medicinal formula." The sloppy, old man rubbed his hands together and chuckled, "Forget it. I shall take a step back. I don't want a tier 7 high-grade formula. As long as you trade the medicinal formula of the elemental heart pill for it, I will give it to you." "What do you say?" Xiao Yan was startled when he heard his words. His face was hesitant. The medicinal formula for the elemental heart pill might not be as valuable as that of a tier 7 high-grade medicinal pill, but it was also worth a lot. Using it to exchange for this copper plate had somewhat exceeded the bottom line in Xiao Yan's heart. "Xiao Yan, exchange for it. It is likely that you will not lose out. This thing is indeed something from the ancient times. It is just that this old fellow doesn't know how to open it." Tianhuo Zunjie's low voice once again sounded in Xiao Yan's ears just when he was hesitating. Xiao Yan nodded in his heart when he heard Tianhuo Zunjie's message. Tianhuo Zunjie's experiences were far from what others could compare with. Since Tianhuo Zunjie had put it this way, it was likely that he felt confident. The sloppy, old man thought that Xiao Yan was a little unwilling when he saw him remain quiet. He immediately clenched his teeth and took out another jade box from his storage ring. Resting in the jade box was another snow bone ginseng. Moreover, the color of this snow bone ginseng appeared better than the one that Xiao Yan had purchased earlier. Since you need the snow bone ginseng, it is likely that you intend to use it to refine a medicinal pill. If you hand the medicinal formula for the elemental heart pill to me, I will add another snow bone ginseng on top of this copper plate. What do you say? The sloppy, old man spoke with some pain. This snow bone ginseng was something that he had originally kept for himself. A smile surfaced on Xiaoyan's face upon hearing his words. He nodded. One should place a limit on everything that one did. If he were to anger this old fellow to the point where he took back the copper plate, it was likely that Xiaoyan could only leave with a bitter smile. From the eccentricity of this old fellow, it would not be strange for him to do such a thing. Xiaoyan flipped his hand. A white-colored scroll appeared in it. After which, he tossed the scroll to the old man, who hurriedly received it. Xiaoyan smiled upon seeing the excited manner of the sloppy, old man. After which, he stored the better quality snow bone ginseng into his storage ring. Next, he extended his hand to grab the copper plate. A purple metal fan suddenly appeared just when Xiaoyan's hand was about to touch the copper plate. Subsequently, it swiftly pressed on the copper plate like a bolt of lightning as a clear sound was emitted. At the same time, a faint laugh was also slowly transmitted over. KK, this copper plate has also caught my eye. Would you be willing to part with it? The smile on Xiaoyan's face was slowly withdrawn when the purple-colored fan appeared. A chill surged within his dark black eyes.